Today is going to be the pick day of the week.
But, Brandon, more heavy rain is possible before too long.
Yeah, it's less than 24 hours away, as a matter of fact. And by this time tomorrow morning, we're going to have a full radar again. And because the ground is simply so wet, it is going to be another flooding issue. Not as bad, but at this point, I think all of us would agree we're ready to shut this off a bit. Flash flood watch, this is starting tomorrow and goes through Thursday. So just be on your guard, and we'll, of course, update you as we get closer to the event, which will start late tonight. Temps this morning warmer, and we're in for a nice day. 50 in Springfield right now. There are some 40s, but yesterday we had some 30s, so this is a better jump this morning. 52 in Camden, 46 in West Plains. Great day to play golf. It's not going to be quite as sloshy, perhaps, but temps are going to warm up. Look at this, 58 at 9 o'clock, 66 at noon, 70 or so. Some spots will be a bit warmer, and the wind a whole lot lighter than what it was yesterday, but that'll pick up later tonight and the rain will come back. I'll show you Futurecast and we'll talk potential amounts in just a bit.
Both westbound lanes of Highway 60 in Rogersville are closed due to flooding.
KY3 Shayla Patrick is there with a look at the impact and the detour. Good morning, Shayla.
Good morning. Yes, flooded out roads have caused a lot of headaches for people around the state, and here outside of Rogersville, same thing. As you mentioned, both westbound lanes of Highway 60, as you can see there behind me, are closed. Traffic, what's going on right now is traffic is being shipped into the eastbound lane, going one lane in each direction. Now at the road closure there behind us, you can see it's where cars are being diverted and they're being able to get back into those westbound lanes. It's set up about a couple miles or so outside of that flood zone. So during the morning and evening rush hours, traffic, as you can imagine, is pretty slow going here as drivers work to get around that detour. So they're asking drivers to take it especially slow and also to take turns merging into the new traffic pattern. Part of the reason the area is so congested is because some of the detour traffic from I-44 will be hitting Rogersville and causing those delays. MoDOT says it could be midweek before this and other areas across the state are able to open, depending on how much rain we get on Monday. So make sure you check that traveler information map before you get out to know which roads are closed and which ways you can get around some of the flooding and water on the roads. Reporting live just outside of Rogersville, Shayla Patrick, KY3 News.
Thank you, Shayla. Breaking overnight, if you plan to travel to or from St. Louis, you need to avoid I-44. It's now closed in St. Louis County here due to the rising Merrimack River. MoDOT closed the interstate to westbound traffic at I-270. Right over there, circled, and eastbound traffic at Highway 100 in Gray Summit here. This is a 25-mile stretch of I-44 that's closed. Actually, nearly 25 and a half miles shut down due to flooding. Alternate routes in this area are posted. However, MoDOT is urging semi-drivers to use I-70. We also want to give you a close look at our school closings this morning. I'm just going to run down this list quickly for you. Alton, we have Bakersfield, Kabul, Dixon, East Central College in Rolla, Eminence, Gainesville, Missouri State University in West Plains, also Mocha Head Start in Waynesville, Newburgh, Ozark Horizon School number 18, Salem Head Start, Skyview State School number 30, Southern Reynolds, West Plains, and Willow Springs. You can get the latest school closings online at ky3.com. Paul?
Maria just talked about some detours up in the St. Louis area. We have our own detours off I-44 right here in the Ozarks, and you're seeing some of the reasons right there. KY3's Mike Landis reports on why it could be several days before that highway reopens.
It's almost eerie seeing I-44 deserted as far as your eye can see, and it's going to be staying that way until a major problem around that curve can be fixed. The rushing wide waters of the flooded Gasconade River, a mile across in some spots, lapping at the pillars of the Interstate 44 bridge.
Pretty devastating. Pretty devastating. It's looking at the interstate, see how bad it's tore up.
The water was actually a lot higher than this over the weekend, up and over the road surface. And when it did, the force scoured the asphalt right off the bridge deck.
I think it's crazy. I mean, I've seen it close to this high, but never exactly this high.
Well, the highway is closed for now, and drivers are being forced to take an hours-long detour just to get around this.
So 30-minute drive turns into 2-hour drive now.
I actually didn't go to work today. I work in Lebanon, and so I called him like, hey, I can't make it to work today.
Interestingly, the parallel old Route 66 bridge here at Hazel Green, closed to traffic a couple of years back because of structural deficiencies, made it through okay for the most part, although it looks like its deck was also pretty roughed up. People are showing up from miles around to see exactly how bad this big flood is.
Definitely breathtaking, just because of the destruction. It's amazing how much damage nature can do.
Come down and go fishing, but as you can see, you can't get to the river or access, so it's going to be a long road before everything's cleared up and looking good.
And MoDOT tells us it will take several days at least before it can get that asphalt repaired and the bridge back open there on I-44. Near the Gasconade River, I'm Mike Landis, KY3 News.
Really is eerie to see him standing there and no traffic on I-44. Another detour option for eastbound traffic is to exit in Lebanon, go through Lake of the Ozarks, up past Jeff City, and on to I-70. It's going to take you longer, but it's really not a bad detour.
Flooding also damaged the Tecumseh Bridge in Ozark County. The bridge carries a lot of traffic in the Gainesville area. Rushing water packed with storm debris caused the structure to crumble in some spots. Those who live east of the bridge are now cut off and have to take long detours just to get into town.
Park my truck on this side of the bridge and walk and have somebody come and get me, or go ahead and drive around and stay in Gainesville. I'm in shock. Just how to get from point A to point B.
The Ozark County Sheriff's Office will be posting updates on all of the roads that are closed in the county on Facebook.
The high water is slowly receding in one of the harder hit areas of Pulaski County. Now crews are getting a look at some of that devastation left behind. Many of the town are just grateful to be alive. The Big Piney River completely swallowed up the historic town. Some people there thought the biggest worry they'd ever have would be a tornado threat.
You really can't prepare for everything. You try, but you really can't.
To me, this is a really big disaster, especially where I'm coming from. Where I come from, there's a lot more tornadoes and floods. I didn't believe floods could get this bad, and seeing all these houses washed away just threw me in a loop.
Those residents still don't know when they'll be able to get back into their homes.
Here's a look at flood damage in the St. Louis area. You can see this soccer field and park underwater in Fenton. This is west of the city. This is all water from the swollen Merrimack River, triggering evacuations and, as you can expect, road closures in that area. And this is in Eureka, Missouri, also along the Merrimack River, where the flooding washed out parts of a railroad track. The water reached the underside of a train trestle. The river level is expected to crest sometime today. Officials estimate it will top out at 44.5 feet, which is well over 10 feet above flood stage. The same area got hit with historic flooding in 2015.
A home in the St. Louis suburb of O'Fallon, Missouri, condemned after that huge oak tree fell on it. It happened Monday morning. The homeowners had already left for the day, thankfully, but authorities did have to rescue 3 dogs. Police think the gusty winds on top of the really saturated soil toppled that tree. Power lines and a pole also got damaged in the incident. The tree damaged a second home, too. There are many ways you can help those affected by these devastating floods. One of the easiest is right on your phone. You can text Red Cross, all one word, to 90999. You'll then donate $10 to the American Red Cross. You can also text Convoy to 50555 to give $10 to Convoy of Hope. Both agencies have been on the ground across the Ozarks helping flood victims recover. A high school student in Oregon is making some big buckaroos. His one big idea, or you might say 2, that's really paying off.
Time now is 5:39. Coming up, the track on storms tonight, the time our next flash flood watch goes into effect, and the inches of rain we could get.